Hey guys, so we're going to start out with a review of what we did today. So you should be getting a pop-up box now asking you to solve each of these problems, so go ahead and answer them. Okay, and if you went ahead and answer them, let's check our answers, or check my answers with yours. So we'll look at number 1 first, and the first thing we need to see is 8 and 12 are denominators. They're not the same. So we need to find the least common denominator for 8 and 12. And if you remember, we'll just use the LCM of 8 and 12, which is 24. If you need to look to see how to figure out how to do that, then you should probably stop this video now and go back to the video about finding least common multiples and the video about prime factorization. Okay, so since we've decided that the least common multiple is 24, we need to ask ourselves, how many times does 8 go into 24? And well, that's 3 times. So since we multiplied 8 times 3 to get 24, we need to multiply 3 times 3 to get 9, because whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So we'll do the same thing for the second fraction. We have 12 goes into 24 2 times, so we have to multiply 9 times 2, and we'll get 18. We are left with 27 over 24. And of course, we can convert this improper fraction to a mixed number. 24 goes into 27 one time, and we're left with 3 over 24. And this again can be reduced because 3 and 24 both have a common factor of 3. So our answer will be 1 and 1/8. All right, number 2, we have 9/16 plus 7/8. We'll start out the same way. We'll find the least common multiple for 16 and 8, and that is 16. Okay? To go from 16 to 16 using multiplication, we have to multiply by 1, so we'll multiply 9 by 1, and we'll get 9. To go from 8 to 16 using multiplication, we have to multiply by 2, so we have to multiply 7 by 2, and we have 14. 9 plus 14 is 23 over 16, and once again, this improper fraction should be converted to a mixed number. 16 goes into 23 one time, and you have 7 left over, 7/16 left over. Okay, that's it for the review. So now let's talk about adding mixed numbers. When you're adding mixed numbers, you kind of have to take things apart here. The way I like to do it is I'll say 2 plus 7 and 3/4 plus 1/8. Separating things like this makes it a little easier, and this only works for addition. You're going to see we have a different strategy for subtraction, but if you don't want to take it apart, you don't have to. It's just a strategy that I like to use. So 2 plus 7 is 9. Oops, sorry about that. And now we have 3/4 plus 1/8. Well, we need to find the least common denominator, which is 8. Since we had to multiply 4 times 2 to get 8, we have to multiply 3 times 2 to get 6. And then, of course, this is just 1. So 6/8 plus 1/8 is 7/8. And if we put everything all back together now, we are left with 9 and 7/8 is our answer. All right, so here we have 3 2/3 plus 4 1/4. We could start out by go ahead and just adding 3 and 4 to get 7. That's this 3 and this 4. And now we have to do the fractions. So we need to find the least common multiple of 3 and 4, which is just 12. To go from 3 to 12, we have to multiply by 4. So we'll multiply the 2 by 4 and get 8. And we have to multiply the 12 by 3. I'm sorry, we have to multiply the 4 by 3 to get 12. So we have to multiply the 1 by 3 to get 3. So it's 11/12. So now we'll put everything back together. And our answer is 7 11/12. Okay, that's all well and good, but sometimes we run into a problem where we'll have an improper fraction at the end, and that's what's going to happen here. So we'll start out by saying 5 plus 3 is 8, excuse me. And now we'll find the least common denominator for 5 and 2, which is 10. And to go from 5 to 10, we need to multiply by 2. So we'll multiply 4 times 2 to get 8. And to go from 2 to 10, we have to multiply by 5. So we have to multiply the 1 by 5, and we get 5 over 10. 8 tenths plus 5 tenths is 13 tenths. Okay, and we'll put things back together. But we have that problem now where we have a mixed number and an improper fraction together, and that's no good. We need everything to be the same. So we're going to take 1 away from 13/10. Okay, just like we were doing on the earlier problems. And it's going to become 8 plus 1 and 3/10, because 13/10 is also 1 and 3/10. So we have another little addition problem here for us, but this one's easy. 8 plus 1 is 9, and 3/10 is our answer. Okay, so this right here is really the newer, trickier part that we're doing. It's to convert this improper fraction right here and give it the extra whole that 13/10 has and give it to the 8. And that's how that becomes 9 and 3/10. All right, number 4, we have 4 and 7/8 plus 2 and 5/6. We will start out the same way. 4 plus 2 is 6. Now we'll talk about the least common denominator for 8 and 6, and that's 24. We have to multiply by 3 to go from 8 to 24, so we multiply the 7 by 3. We have to multiply the 6 by 4 to go from 6 to 24, so we have to multiply the 5 by 4 to get 20. This leaves us with 41 over 24. And again, this is an improper fraction, so we need to take out 24 over 24 from it. Okay, so when we take out 24 over 24, we have 6 plus 1 and 17/24. And we can simplify this by just saying 7 and 17/24. Okay, so here are a couple of practice problems for you guys to try. You should be getting a pop-up box now. Okay, so if you went ahead and answered them, we'll start out by saying 3 plus 2 is 5. And now 1/8 and 2/8 has a common denominator of 8. And to go from 2 to 8, we have to multiply by 4, so 4 times 1 is 4. So this is simply just 5/8, which is 5 and 5/8 is our answer. That does not need to be reduced. So now we will have 4 plus 3 is 7. And 1/9 and 1/6 have a common denominator of 18. To go from 9 to 18, it's multiplied by 2. And to go from 6 to 18, it's multiplied by 3. So we have 5 over 18, which means 7 and 5/18 is our answer here. Okay, you guys should be getting a pop-up box now for these two problems. You will need to carry for these two problems. Okay, so if you went ahead and answered them, we'll do 7 plus 6 is 13. 5 and 2 have a common denominator of 10. To go from 5 to 10, it's multiplied by 2, so we have to multiply the 4 by 2. To go from 2 to 5, to go from 2 to 10, it's multiplied by 5, so we multiply the 1 by 5, and we have 13/10. 13 and 13/10, well, we don't like that, and I'm actually just going to take this, and I ran out of room, I'm going to write it down here. 13 and 13/10 equals 13 plus 1 and 3/10, which equals 14 and 3/10. Okay, it's not absolutely necessary that you show every single one of these steps. I'm showing them for your benefit. Some of the smaller ones you guys can go ahead and skip. So for this last one here, we have 9 plus 8, which is 17. And we have to find the common denominator for 7 and 6, which is 42. That's a big one. To go from 7 to 42, it's times 6, so we have to do 24. And to go from 6 to 42, it's times 7, so this will be 35. Okay? 24 over 42 plus 35 over 42 is 59 over 42. So we have 17 and 59 over 42. This is going to equal 17 plus 1 and 17 over 42, which equals 18 and 7/42. Okay? Don't forget, guys, tomorrow your math dictionaries are due, and we are going to have a test on adding and subtracting fractions on Friday. Thank you very much, and have a good night.